Hello, this is Catherine from Accelerated Reader reading books for you. Today I will be reading Chapter 7, When Dreams Come True, from Unabo, The Magic Tree of Love, by Dr. Rebecca Verghese Paul, illustrated by Ada Konewki. Before I begin reading, I would like to give a big thanks to the author for sending me this book to read on my channel. In the description below, I've included links where you may find and purchase this book. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Chapter 7, When Dreams Come True. Mayana was very upset, and rightfully so. She was only 12, and she detested being forced to do something she did not want to do. She had been using the recipes in the cookbook for 2 years now, and she had been cooking on her own for longer. Mayana knew she was good, and she would never forget all the times she had spent cooking with her mother. The problem was that her aunt did not think Mayana's cooking was a practical way of making money. Of course, there had been great cooks in the family all along, and she knew it was a necessary skill for all girls to have. Though she enjoyed Mayana's cooking, her aunt obviously thought she knew best and had not bothered to ask what Mayana wanted. She was insisting that Mayana take up a job as a nanny to a rich family she had heard of, who lived over the mountains. Mayana did not want to leave Dure. The only children she had taken care of were her cousins, and in her heart she knew that was not what she wanted to do. She had been a flower girl so far. That had given her the time to do what she loved most, baking. She found it very comforting, and it had helped her get over the loss of her parents 2 years ago, though she still missed them terribly. Living with her aunt was difficult, though Mayana would never complain. There was already a baker in town. She knew that. Benita, the baker, was a gentle old soul. She took Mayana under her wing the minute she learned of the young girl's love for baking. Benita had seen the young girl struggling when her parents died, and invited her to come over and bake any time she wanted to. She told Mayana she would be glad to have company. "Thank you very much, ma'am. Come over any time. Oh, and just call me Benita. No more ma'am business. Okay, dear?" "Yes, Benita," said Mayana, hoping this was right for her. With that, Mayana started going to Benita's house. She only told her aunt that she was going there to learn more about baking, and that seemed to keep her aunt happy. Soon, she and Benita were good friends, but they did not have sugar or cooking chocolate or vanilla beans. They substituted with whatever was available and managed to bake some delicious goodies anyway. Mayana still spent a lot of time sitting at the foot of the tree with Bodero. She knew she was with friends, and they did not need to talk, because their silence spoke louder than words ever could. Unabo had always been there for them. She went to the tree one day a few months later, and found Bodero already there, munching on an apple and some spinneroos. "Hey, Maya, what is happening? All okay?" Not really, Bodero. It's my aunt again. Oh, and what does she want now? You know, she has been telling me I have to go over the mountains to be a nanny, right? But I want to bake, and my aunt does not think it can be a career because our baking needs to be spectacular. But it cannot because we don't have half the ingredients we need. You did tell me about it, but I was hoping she had forgotten. You cannot go. That would be terrible, and Spirit and I would miss you. Doré would not be the same without you. You do still have your great-grandmother's cookbook, don't you? I do, but we cannot do much without the ingredients. And my aunt still thinks being a nanny is the best I can do for myself. Ugh, that is so frustrating. There is so much more I can do. I know. Maybe we should ask Una Belle, he said. She would not want you to go either. You are right. We should ask her. I so wish we had all the ingredients that are mentioned in the book. Life was different then, and I cannot stop wishing we could go back in time to get the right things. I know. I have also seen the ingredients that are in your great-grandmother's book. But you and Benita already bake from home, and the tree gives us all the sweets we need. So I am wondering, why have another bakery? Oh, Bodero, that is the point. I want to help Benita build a bakery and make it a success. How long can we bake from her home? She deserves more. Her baking is good now, I agree. But if we had all the ingredients we need, it could be spectacular. The tree only provides for our basic needs. But what do we do if we want something different? It would be great to recreate great-grandmother's recipes, right? You are right. I can just imagine tasting all those recipes. It would be great if Benita had a bakery of her own, a place we all could go for some special treats. I know it will be wonderful to have all that food back in town again. Now, it seemed like it was Bolero's turn to confide in Mayana. My parents want me to help them build new houses. I do not want to work on construction sites for the rest of my life. The extra money from my carving does help, but I need more. They do not think carpentry will bring in enough. I need someone to give me a chance and see that I could become a good carpenter one day. That is sad. You are very talented. I think you could work with Jovan, right? I wish our families would just let us do what we are good at, instead of forcing us to do something we do not want to. You are right. I did think about it. I have asked my parents if I can work with him. I hope they say yes. I wish our dreams would come true too someday. And with that, a shower of sweets fell on their heads. It seemed that Una Bo agreed. Mayana sat under the tree long after Bolero had left and wondered how her dream of having a bakery could come true. She could earn enough to help her family, and her aunt would not need to see her as a burden anymore. Could Una Bo help? Suddenly, something fell on her. She rubbed her head as she looked up at the tree. Then she looked down again at what had fallen. It seemed to be some kind of bean. She picked it up and smelt it, and immediately knew it was a vanilla bean. Could the tree really give her all she needed? She thought of sugar as hard as she could. Oh, and cooking chocolate. The tree rustled for a bit. It seemed like Una Bo was having a conference with herself. Mayana was not sure what was going on. But pretty soon down came a basket, and when she looked inside, Mayana squealed in joy. There was dark chocolate, white chocolate, and what looked like sticks. She wondered what they were. It was only later she learned they were sweet inside and began calling them candy cane. She ran to Benita's house and showed her what the tree had given her. Benita, see what the tree gave us. This will make our baked things so much better, and maybe our dream of opening a bakery can come true. Hold on, child, hold on. Hold your horses. What are you talking about? Let me see what it is before you make your mind about our future. Benita looked at the things Mayana had brought and tasted some of them. She realized they were holding gold, something the village had not seen in a long time. That was when she started getting excited. See, I told you, see great-grandmother's cookbook? It talks about all this. We actually have it now, said Mayana, laughing. She held Benita by the arms and twirled her around. Okay, I agree. You were right. You and Una Bo are the best gifts anyone could have asked for. And with that, Mayana went home, her heart sinking. She knew her aunt would scoff, so she decided to keep the tree's gifts a secret. Bolero was excited when he found out about it. He had known Una Bo would help them, and he had been right. Mayana began to bake secretly at Benita's house, and she, Bolero, and Benita were able to tell people that they had new, extra delicious things to sell. Soon, word spread, and their sweets and other goodies were so delectable that they kept running out of supplies. Something strange was happening. Whenever Mayana used her great-grandmother's recipes, the things she made always reminded people of what their mothers and grandmothers had made for them. Javan almost cried as he told them their cakes reminded him of his great-aunt. Vinig was a regular, and he always bought all their cookies because he said they reminded him of those his grandmother made. Mayana's aunt eventually found out and was upset that Mayana had not told her what she was doing. She now regretted that she had scoffed at Mayana's dream of becoming a baker. She finally saw the sense in it and was glad Mayana had not become a nanny. Her aunt agreed that the baked goods were top class, almost as good as her great-grandmother's. Of course, with a little bit of magic thrown in. That was when Mayana told her aunt they were planning to open a bakery, that they were not going to be baking at Benita's house forever. Her aunt agreed to it, as long as they could pay for it themselves, because she was certainly not able to give them any money. They decided to take loans to pay for the bakery and hoped opening it would help repay the money. It took Mayana and Benita a month to find a place for their bakery. Then they hired people to help set it up. Mariana now knew how she could help Bodero. He had started apprenticing with Javan once his parents agreed. So they hired Javan to help with furnishing the store, which meant Bodero could also work there. Spirit joined in and spent his time chewing on the fragments of wood that were lying around. They spent far less time with the tree, but Mariana knew Unabo understood. Both she and Benita spent a lot of time at Benita's house, planning and buying new things for the store. Mariana had never had so much fun before. Benita now had a new reason to carry on doing what she had always done, and it seemed like she had a fresh lease of life. It took them a few more months to finish building cupboards and shelves and decorating the shop. Finally, it was time to open the bakery. They decided to call it Baked with Love. Mariana and Bodero went to tell Unabo that they were finally ready. The tree hugged them, and Spirit seemed happy too. They opened the store and were delighted to find that it was soon filled with customers and that all their heavenly food sold very quickly. It seemed as if the village had been waiting for a place like their bakery to open. The travelers also started buying the delicious baked goodies. They never discovered what it was that Mariana and Benita put into their baking, but it certainly tasted different from anything they had ever eaten before. It was a double celebration for Mariana and Bodero. They were ecstatic that Bodero's parents had seen his work and agreed to let him do what he loved best, carpentry. So finally, their dreams were both fulfilled. With the success of the bakery, in a year, Mariana was able to help her family move to a bigger house. Better still, she had earned her aunt's respect. She and Benita had managed to pay back all their loans, something that had given her many sleepless nights. Even the bullies did not dare make fun of her again. After all, she had done what none of them could, 6 fingers or not. And Mariana never forgot what her friends had done for her. Thank you for listening. Stay tuned for Chapter 8. Don't forget to like and subscribe. In the description below, I've included links where you may find and purchase this book.